We need to ask questions about universe.
I would say that if necessary, that is the causal principle for everything that has these at level. This is God, and it makes logical sense, even though we don't have all of the answers to everything. With the knowledge that we have, we can build this model and say, as of right now, this seems like the most rational, reasonable thing to hold to, until shown otherwise.
Right. Firstly, let me say you are very intelligent, and I feel quite defunct sat here arguing with you because I'm not really sure what to say. But secondly,
We're not arguing, Millie. We're not arguing.
No,
Millie.
no, sorry, not arguing. That was the wrong
We're not
choice of
arguing.
word.
Salam and peace. Welcome to Dawa Dude. Today you are going to see convincing contingency argument presented by Brother Khalil of EA Dawa. You can subscribe his channel EA Dawa for full program. In this clip, you will see a British atheist girl, and she comes and asks some questions about the existence of God, and this is how the Brother Khalil presented, and in the end she get convinced. So, and let's watch the entire clip. And if you have not watched it, if you have not subscribed to my channel, welcome to Dawa Dude. This channel, what I try to do, I try to get the best of the argument and best dialogue. Instead of going through 4 hours of stream, I watch for you guys, and then I get the best out of that. If you want to watch the entire stream, you can go to Iedawa. But let's play to this and for our own knowledge. Okay. Jazakallah khair.
We need to ask questions about universals. And what this means is we need to ask about questions of whether I exist or don't or not exist is irrelevant to the position that I want to explore. So whether I am around or not around, if God is real, then God always existed.
Yeah.
God is there, right? God is not contingent or dependent on me existing or not existing.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to now talk about universals that is applicable in the absolute kind of sense. Yeah. So we need to expand our thinking a little bit now. So I'm going to let Khalil now take over from this stage, from this step, to say what the immediate next question is well, I'll let Khalil come over here because I think it's a good segue in, Khalil, for you to then say where do you want to take the conversation.
There's a couple different ways I could go about this, but like I was speaking the other day, brother, there's another argument that can be used in this situation that's I feel is quite a powerful point to be made, and let's see what the sister here thinks. So Millie, do you believe that there are things about the universe that are always true and always have been true? Like, for example, 1 + 1 = 2. Has that always been true as a proposition?
I think it's out of our knowledge to know whether that's true or not. I feel like stuff like, say, the example 1 + 1 = 2 is something that's been created to make our lives make more sense.
Okay.
It's something that we've created as a human to make things make sense, because it is beyond our imaginations, beyond our knowledge to understand what is actually going on.
Do you believe that we created truth or we discovered truth?
I believe we created it, personally.
So if I was to say prior to human beings existing, Mount Everest was not the tallest mountain in existence, or was it still true even though human beings weren't around to discover that?
I don't know. It could have been true, it could have not been true, but I think, again, that's beyond our imagination, that's beyond our knowledge. It's not something we can ever confirm. So it's down to speculation.
Would you say it's reasonable to say that prior to human beings, like that Mount Everest didn't just jolt up suddenly when human beings came into existence?
Of course. Yeah.
So it would be reasonable to say that even prior to human beings, that Mount Everest was the tallest mountain in existence. We just didn't have a sentient mind to observe it and create a language to describe it and talk to each other about it. But the truth of the state of affairs was still there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And
It
even if we
existed,
go all
yeah.
the way back to example, like if you hold to like a Big Bang theory,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you do or not, but the singularity, like there's something called the three classical laws of logic. There's identity, non-contradiction, excluded middle.
Okay.
So the singularity, would you agree that the singularity was the singularity, that it was what it was?
Yes,
Okay.
because I can't see anything beyond that.
Correct. Okay. So if we just stick with that one, that means that there is the law of identity at the singularity. The law of identity, if it was true at that moment, is a necessary truth.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that things that truth is a conceptual thing?
Yes.
Okay. And are concepts mental things?
Yes.
Okay. And are mental things grounded in minds?
Individual minds, yes.
Okay, perfect. So if there was a truth at the very Big Bang, it would seem to logically follow that there is a concept at play at that very moment, and there is a mental thing that is grounded in a mind. So then you ask the question, if there are necessary truths, it would follow that there would be a necessary mind for these truths to be grounded in.
Yeah. To me, like when you say the word truth, it's a very individual trait. Like I could say to my partner, what's the truth about this? And he would say the opposite to what
Sure,
I did.
yeah. And that would be perception. But what I'm saying is I'm speaking about what's called ontology. So
Okay.
if there's what we experience, there's what we perceive, and then there's what really actually is.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that is what I would call the objective ontological truth.
Yeah, okay.
So if we believe that there's always been truth about things, even before human beings or single-celled organisms existed, but yet we still believe that there were concepts at play before that, then concepts are mental things. Mental things are grounded in minds.
Yeah.
It would logically follow that there is at least one mind of sort to be able to be the grounding for these necessary truths, like the law of identity.
It's like if the first tree grew, objectively that is a tree. But if I said to my partner, that tree is green, he might say that tree's yellow.
Yeah,
you know
correct.
What I mean? Yeah.
But the tree would be a tree, and it would be in existence,
of course, yeah, that's the objective
regardless
tree.
of if anybody was able to perceive it. Like if any human being was there to see it, it would still be true. So I think we agree that even at the very beginning, at the singularity itself, there was a mind to ground the truth of the law of identity at which the singularity held to.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So then I would say now we have this one thing, this necessary thing that pretty much all truth is dependent on. And then we ask the question, what else is dependent upon this thing? So I would say that if something cannot come from nothing, then matter and energy and space-time and stuff like this would have been at least dependent upon this necessary mind to ground the truth of it even existing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would say for this thing to be necessary, it would not be able to have any type of like arbitrary limitations at all. Because if it's necessary, that means it has to exist the way that it does.
Yeah.
It couldn't possibly exist in any other way, which means that if it lacked any metaphysical attribute about itself, that means that it could be a different way in another possible world. The only way for it to truly be necessary is if it's the exact same way in every world. The only way to make sure that that happens is to say that this necessary thing has all metaphysically possible attributes that doesn't contradict its own nature. And then within those attributes, to make sure that it's not different in other worlds, you would have to have unlimitedness within these attributes. You wouldn't be able to say, okay, it could have more or less than what it does right now, because then it would be different in another world. It could have more knowledge or more power or whatever this attribute we would speak of. It could have more or less. The only way to make sure it stays necessary is if it has all of these attributes and is essentially unlimited within these attributes.
Yeah. That's it.
So that would leave us with a mind that is the causal principle to all contingent existence, and that has an unlimited amount of power, an unlimited amount of presence, an unlimited amount of knowledge. And to me personally, at a bare bone minimum level, this is exactly how I define God.
Mm. Yeah.
So if we would agree upon that, yeah, in this one single God, right, there couldn't be multiple necessary beings, because like I said, if one was lacking a certain trait, that would mean to make a distinction between the two, one of them would have to have a trait that the other one doesn't. And if the other one is lacking a possible, metaphysically possible trait, it's not necessary to begin with. So there could only be this one necessary thing that is the causal principle for everything, that has these essential, unlimited, necessary attributes. And that's how I define God. Without going directly into Islam, just at a very bare bone base level, this is God. And it makes logical sense, even though we don't have all of the answers to everything. With the knowledge that we have, we can build this model and say, as of right now, this seems like the most rational, reasonable thing to hold to, until shown otherwise.
All right. Firstly, let me say you are very intelligent, and I feel quite defunct sat here arguing with you because I'm not really sure what to say. But secondly,
we're not arguing, Millie. We're not arguing.
No, sorry, not arguing. That was the wrong choice of words.
I'm just explaining to you why I believe what I do. I was
of course.
I was an atheist for 12 years up until about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, so. And it's absolutely fine to change your perspective. And sometimes I wish I could change my perspective because I feel like it'd give me a different purpose.